Good morning, everyone. Okay. I am running off of two laptops. I just finished a lead teacher meeting that I recorded as well, and it is in the middle of converting that, and so I had to switch to this Zoom, which means this laptop, which has my Word document that I'm going to work through in this faculty meeting, is is frozen in time. So I'm working on that and that piece, and I will be ready in just 1 second. There it is. So I'm gonna work from my phone. Okay. And Chapel, nice hat. Good to see you this morning. Yes. All right. Guys, I'm going to wait for just another minute or so. It looks like we have 51 in, which is awesome. That's a great bunch of you. Jim Goss looks like he's ready to fly the plane. I love that. Take some time to look through. Peterson looking good outside. He's got a little background going on, maybe. That's what it is. He's driving. I like it. So kind of scroll through a little bit and see everyone. I'm going to see if I can do this. Okay, so a couple quick things. Down for me at the bottom of my screen, there's a chat piece in there. I love that everyone has theirs muted at this point, which is going to be great, and it's going to be easier for you guys to kind of hear me. I just met with. Well, actually, let me go back to that. Down at the bottom of the screen, there's a chat function. If you have questions, Mindy, good job with the toilet paper. By the way, that just caught my eye. Way to stock up, kid. Um, if you have questions as we go through this, throw that into the chat section, and Carrie will jump in and she'll unmute herself and she'll jump in and read those to me as we go. So, well, it's 9:31. I just finished a conversation with our lead teachers, and it was great to see faces. And we talked through a couple of things that I wanted to share today, and made sure that I wasn't totally out there and crazy on those. Um, this is a pretty weird time in education. Um, it's a time that none of us really probably anticipated ever happening. That we would be in the end of March, past spring break, and our days would not be filled with physically seeing kids and helping them through what in many of their, well, really in all their lives, this is probably the most difficult time that society has been through in their days. And so that's kind of a crazy thing. We all got into education to be helpers, and to teach and to help kids understand and help them through things, and we're not physically there to be able to do that with them, and that's a pretty weird time right now. And as we move forward in this, that's the biggest thing that we need to focus on, is how do we help kids. um, I know that many of you got into the exact position that you are because you love to play the trumpet, or you loved reading literature and writing, or you are a math person, a social studies person, or what, and that's the way you picked your curriculum. And right now, the way our district is approaching the continuous learning plan, that's a piece that's going to be missing for you, because you're not going to be delivering that content as you've done in the past. And um, our district plan has been that we have a group of educators at each grade level and content area that got together and are developing a plan that is going to be consistent for all of our kids across the system. And when we think about our kids, a high percentage of those have internet capabilities and are probably now after a week and a half, 2 weeks out of school, they are probably better at Zoom than all of us. They're used to FaceTime anyway, so this is not a new format for them. For some of us, it definitely is. But we also have kids in the district in other buildings that do not have that Wi-Fi access at home. And so as a district, we had to put together something that would be consistent and keep equity across the system. The other piece that we have to think about as we move forward is not piling on great activities, but piling on activity after activity for our kids and overwhelming them. Guaranteed that there are kids in our building that are the primary care provider for their siblings right now. Guaranteed. Many of our parents are in essential roles in our society, and they are not at home, and our kids are providing care for their siblings. Okay, think about the stress that puts on them, and all of that they're dealing with. Throw in that we also have kids, I'm positive, in our buildings that their parents have lost their jobs through this shutdown. And do we know if anyone is missing? Shane, I see that. I'm sure that there are. I am recording this, and I'll be able to send it out via email. One of the things that I asked our leads to do is to check in with their people. Leads, if you would kind of look through the folks that are checked in today, and if you see someone in your group that's not there, please touch base with them about that and just see if they're okay. More than anything, that's our biggest goal right now, is making sure that, mentally and physically, that for me and Shane and Carrie, it's that our staff is doing okay, and we want to be able to help in any way we can. And really for our teaching staff, it's the very same thing with their kids. Check in and make sure that they know you're there to support them with the curriculum, yes, but also with this transition to such a weird time. So our biggest spot is, or our biggest area that we're focused on is support and encouraging kids, not only through encouraging them through the curriculum that they're working through, but encouraging them that, hey, we're going to get through this. The toughest things that we're dealing with right now won't be the last things that we get to deal with. We're going to pull through this. So a bit of a structure that I'd look for folks to have. I don't know what the second chat was. Carrie, anything that I need to answer?
6th grade and science are present.
Oh, okay, perfect. Please don't. Let's save that for later. If there's someone that's missing, check in on them. If there's something that we can do to help, please let Shane and Carrie and I know. We also know that you guys are in different roles and juggling kids and things like that you typically wouldn't be doing right now too. So we've got some grace, but we're looking for people to be engaged, but we're not gonna hammer you if you miss a meeting, so that's kind of where we're at. So kind of a weekly schedule for you. You guys put together your own schedules and that kind of thing, and I'm just throwing out some ideas. We know that Monday our lessons are going to come out at 9 a.m. What I'm asking for every one of our teaching staff to do is to reach out to their kids individually. Now, not a individual email or whatnot, but send a bulk email to all of your kids. Okay, do that in an individual manner. After we get past this first week, it's up to you. Do that individually with a email or a Zoom. those kind of things, but be checking in on your kids. You can do that individually. You can do it as a team of teachers if you choose to. Okay. This first week, I want our kids more than anything to know that their teachers are there for them, that you're there to answer questions and some of those kind of things. As we do reach out, if you're doing that through Zoom, this might be a piece to jot down if you feel like you need to. But Zoom meetings, we're already running into some things where there are meetings that are overlapping and being scheduled on top of each other. What we just talked about with the leads was to avoid that. If you're going to set up a Zoom with your kids, if you are a core teacher, your days to do that would be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you are an elective teacher, there are going to be no core Zooms on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Okay, so electives, if you're going to set up some of that, do it on Tuesday and Thursday. Core, if you're going to do it on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. Okay, so a little thumbs up that we're good with that. Thank you very much. So the biggest, I'm going to send you I saw a piece tweeted that was kind of some guidelines to remember when using Zoom. The first thing that I want you to know is do not Zoom one-on-one. Okay, just like being having one-on-one meetings in a room with a shut door, it's just not a good practice. Don't do it. That's kind of a piece that we should all keep in mind. Let me find.
Hey, Mike, can I ask something on Zoom?
Absolutely.
We're not supposed to go through like just the Zoom app. All Zoom communication goes through that district link. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And that was a piece that I sent out, and I can add that again if need be.
It came from Brent and you, I think.
Okay. So yeah, if actually instead of me sending it a third time, contact me if you need any more of those, or you have specific questions. Touch base with one of the administrators, and we'll help you through that. So there's a piece that I'm going to send out that talks about some of the settings for teachers to make sure that your meetings are secure and those kind of things. You get asked. There are default settings for all of these things, but you want to make sure that you do some of the things like turn off private chat. We can all nod our heads and understand why we're not going to have private chats during a Zoom meeting and those kind of things. You can, if in an ideal situation, those group Zooms are a pretty good thing. Group of teachers doing that. But really we want to use it for check-ins, interacting in a social manner. Middle school is so much about social that that's a piece that our kids are going to be missing if they're following the rules, and if their parents are having them follow the stay-at-home rules. They're going to be missing that social interaction. So we can do some Zoom pieces that will help with that. I'm going to send this kind of guideline, or it's just kind of some good pieces to keep in mind. I'll send it when I send the link to the recording of this meeting. So that'll be a piece. When we look at responding to students, so in your first contact with them, you want to let them know, hey, shoot me an email and I'll help you through. If you're having any troubles with the content lesson and that, I'll help you through that. If you're, however you want to present that to kids, but have them use your email. That's your best way. I wouldn't be giving out my cell phone number and those kind of things, just like I wouldn't in other times. But with email, it's going to be very easy to be drawn into any kind of any kind of help that we can provide at any time of the day. I would suggest setting up what your office hours are. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be immediately responding to people. That's not what I mean about office hours, but let them know that, hey, between the hours of 7:30 and 3:30, I'm going to be checking and responding to emails every couple hours, or between 9 and 5, for some of us that want to sleep in, which I get it. Just let folks know that and stick to it. Make sure as a teacher you have that screen down in the evenings and you're focusing on you. Um, I hope you're like so many I've seen in my neighborhood, and you are getting out, you're walking, you're biking, you're doing outdoor activities, you're following Peterson's tweets and doing some of those workout things. Guys, this is a great time to get that focus on yourself and make sure that you're taking care of you as well. So make sure you schedule that time in there, and make sure it's outside of the time that you're responding to email. Please don't get sucked into responding to emails at 8 o'clock at night. That's not healthy for you, and please don't do it. I can tell you firsthand from the last 2 weeks, don't do it. It's the amount of emails with significant information that have come out after 5 and 6 o'clock in the evenings. My head wants to explode from my bosses, and so I'm hopeful that I don't do that to you, and that you're able to step away from it. Make sure that you can step away from kids. With that being said, still respond within 24 hours, please.
To add, from Mindy, Blue Valley is having teachers with office hours 1 hour a day. Can we do 1 hour, or does it need to be a block?
So their office hours, I think, are via Zoom and wide open. Is what I had thought. As far as being face-to-face in a Zoom 1 hour a day, we're not doing that. Your contract's still your contract, 7:30 to 3:30, and so being able to respond in a block of time. We're not telling you when those hours need to be, or that you need to have a specific hour that you're open. I don't know. Did I answer your question, Mindy? Yes, kind of. Okay. So that's a piece. No, it doesn't have to be a specific hour of each day or anything like that, but know what works for you, what works for your family, and make sure that it's healthy and you're putting those screens down at some point. Again, just like during the school year, respond within 24 hours. Know that Shane and Carrie and I are here to help and support in any of those. If they become grumpy or disgruntled, please pull us in, and we'll help you through that as well. I would be more conscious of opening with a greeting, telling how you're doing, checking in, asking how kids are doing. Be a little bit more, be more soft and be more approachable, and be very cognizant of that in your emails, that you're not just that you're not just doing this robotically. So those would be my pieces there. I touched on this a little bit, but individual teachers are not layering on more assignments. As a district, this is one that Dr. Yeager, Dr. Dane, they have hit administrators very hard with. Teachers are not to be adding those pieces on. We talked a little bit about our kids being primary caregivers, some of our kids and families dealing with parents losing jobs, having food security pieces and issues, parents financially impacted by those shutdowns. And then there are so many other factors that we really don't know our kids are dealing with. Our job is to really just support and encourage our kids that we're going to get through this time. They're going to be able to continue learning through the pieces that are put out by the district, and encourage them to extend there. I can see some of our families reaching out to you specifically and saying, I really want my student to be working more and more, and pushing for that. Push them back to the continuous learning plan. Say there are extensions and there are opportunities there. Encourage your kids to do that, and some of that. So keep pushing to that and hold to that as best you can. Tutoring. You may be approached by parents to do tutoring. I would tell you this is a piece in the negotiated agreement that you can't do that during the contract day, right? So can't do that before 3:30 in the afternoon, and can't do it between that 7:30 and 3:30 time. What I would tell you is that the optics on that are not good if you're doing it after that, to be honest right now. Our society, there are going to be people, we've been attacked the last few years by legislators and things like that. There are people that are going to be saying, why are we paying teachers that are at home? Well, we're paying them we're being paid to support and encourage your kids through an extremely tough time. If we are adding on tutoring session after tutoring session in the evenings and things like that, the optics are bad. So I would discourage that. I'm not telling you you can't do it, but I would tell you that that's going to make our profession look like we're really after that money piece in that. So that's the piece on tutoring.
Yeah, question from Kara. Is it okay to respond in the evening because of students or for your kids taking time?
Yeah, if my spouse has a job that they're off, out of the house, and they're not there to help with kids during the day, and I can't get to my emails because I'm taking care of my own kids and those kind of things, my office hours are going to look different. That's kind of like, I said, it doesn't have to be 7:30 to 3:30, but make sure you're available for kids, and that you're responding within 24 hours. Yes, respond in the evenings. If that works in your situation at home, then that's awesome. Do it. Okay. Kara, I can't see you, but I hope if I didn't answer that question the way you were looking for it, shout again. So with us not directly providing instruction to our kids during the day, we do have time to do some other pieces and to continue with some of the things that we've been working on as a building, as a district. I would say your PLCs, they need to keep going. Be meeting with your content partners and be planning for next year. You've been given an amazing gift of 8 weeks in which you can plan for 2021. Just talk to our lead teachers about if they are doing a vertical team meeting where it's all math teachers at one time and those kind of things, to try to stay in the afternoon so that they're not hitting those morning times for content partners. So 8th grade, that normal second hour time, I would suggest that that's still your best time to PLC. Now, going back to Kara's question, the last one, she may not be available during that time, and she and Julie may work out a better time that works for them. But understand that if there's a social studies PLC, you may have to adjust a little bit. When you set those, and if you're doing them via Zoom, which I think is a good way to do that, because again, you're getting that honest person-to-person interaction. When you're doing it with 58 people in a Zoom, there's not that piece. I mean, I can see your faces, but it's not as good. When you're doing that in a group of 5 or a group of 8, you're getting a lot better a lot better conversation going and some of those kind of things. I think you'll find the format's pretty good, especially for content partner work. So as you set up those Zooms, invite your administrator that typically drops into them, and we will check in with you as best we can. Know that we're being pulled for different directions. I've got to leave in about 25 minutes to drive and hand out food at Indian Creek. So there are going to be different things that we're pulled from, and we won't be able to attend all those, but we do want to attend as we can. So invite us on those and send the links. Let's see, as you're doing that, be cognizant of the fact that you have 8 weeks of time to be planning. It might be a real good idea to structure that such that these first 2 weeks as you're meeting, you're looking at the first quarter of the year. Weeks 3 and 4, looking at the second quarter of the year, third quarter, fourth quarter, trying to put together some common assessments in Mastery Connect, and being able to build that plan together. And so that's a piece. Our elective folks have an opportunity that they've never had, to be able to do that in a time that, we haven't been able to have that specific time devoted for you to connect with people in other buildings. So this is another great opportunity to do some of that with those folks.
Want to do a quick recap over on the side. Just from Karen, if you are having a difficult time finding your parents or not receiving emails or have bad phone or emails, let Karen Brennicky know. And then also with the music, or many of the lessons will not include practicing instruments due to the situation with having instruments at school. If students ask for things to play, can we give suggestions, music online, method books? This might just be an email, okay, from you later, but others may have similar questions like that.
Sure. So like I look at, if kids are looking for suggestions in music to play, I look to that as, hey, I just finished this series that I was reading and I loved it. Mr. Goss, can you give me some ideas of the next book that I should check out? I think that's there. You're not requiring them to do it. I think that's okay. The instrument piece, I will tell you this, is that district is working with the county health department and trying to figure out if we can, the instruments would be the next piece that we're going to try to get out to kids. We started with food, rightfully so. We went to iPads and glasses. I delivered a couple sets of glasses that were left in the building, quite a few iPads and those kind of things. The next piece that we're going to hopefully tackle will be instruments. I've not received what that's going to look like. I just know that that's the next on our list. As you have kids ask if they're going to be reunited with their things in their lockers and those kind of things, at some point, yes. Just don't know when. Again, county health department is really guiding what we can and cannot do, and some of those kind of things. Okay.
Can I throw in here? Well, I was going to throw in here having access to the building. Talking about planning for next year, and many teachers' instructional materials are at school. Have you heard from the district when they might have access again for more than, they had that 15 minutes of fame, but to get more classroom materials for planning?
I've not heard specifics on when or what. We knew that there might be this question as to, hey, I need this resource so that I can do some planning and things like that. I kind of because I'm wondering how many emails I'll get. But this afternoon, when I send out the link to this Zoom meeting, and that if you are a person that needs to get back into the building to be able to do some planning, grab some things and be able to take home to do planning, please respond to that email and let me know. And I'll that way I have a number of how many of my folks are needing to get back in the building to do some of that. Okay. So let's see, next piece on my list, no assessments this year. I think it goes without saying. We're not going to have kids in classes to be able to take those and that, but the no assessments will be given, Kansas assessments or MAP or those. Next, mail, I think I touched on it, but I can't remember if it was this meeting or the lead meeting, but if you have ordered something already and you are expecting it to be coming, I'm hopeful that you have a way to track whether that package is coming. Looking for you to try, if you can, and you know that, hey, it's going to be delivered this coming week, let me know. If you can specifically get it down to a day, that would be even better. I am going back to the building twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to collect mail, to collect stickers off the door from UPS that says, hey, you have 9 days to go and pick up your baritone sax case or whatever it may be. Yeah, Chapel. We got 2 of those in the office. But that you're able to, that I will go and pick those things up, and I'll let you know that they came in and those kind of things. So that whole ordering process, receiving and all of that is a work in process. Continue to keep me and Angie in the loop if you're missing things, and we'll try to check those off. So if you know when to expect it, that would be even better. Giving me a description and the company it's coming from, that would be great. Anything else in chat, Carrie?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I'm going to just pause for a minute and ask if there are any questions. You know, as we're getting some of those gathered, the biggest thing I would say is, guys, take care of yourselves, eat as well as you can, get out and do some exercise. And that's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black. I've done better over the last 3 or 4 days than I did early on when there was so much communication going on and so many things planning wise in that. But take care of yourselves and please continue to connect with each other. You know, if you think about, you know, third hour passing and you always saw, you know, you typically saw this person in the hallway as you went to get your ice water filled up or one of those kind of things, reach out and check in on them. Send them a text, send them an email, give them a call. We more than any other time, we need to look out for each other. And please, if there are things that Shane and Carrie and I can help with, let us know. Anything else in chat?
Where are we in the calendar process for next year? Just want to see updates when we can about how that planning is going.
Yeah, I would say that virtually every bit of planning that for next year that typically would have been going on the last 3 weeks, it has absolutely paused. I will reach out to East and see where they are on calendar and see if I can get back an answer on that. I wouldn't expect that answer is going to be very quick, that I'll get those things from East. And you know that we always stop, or we always start there so that we're not scheduling things on top of East, and then elementaries do the same from us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Next thing.
Yeah, Shane just says, thanks to those who responded to my small group emails. Interesting to hear what you're all up to. And then can materials be sent to the district copy center?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I will, I'll check on that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go back to Shane's point. You know, Shane, Carrie, and I each took a different part of the staff and kind of reached out and just checked in and those kind of things. I loved hearing, you know, what's going on and what you guys have been doing and those kind of things. it was good to hear from everyone. Wow, chat's lighting up now.
Yeah, how about budget stuff?
Yep, it's on hold.
And are we going to have any more regular scheduled staff meetings?
I thought I would get through this week. I think that at minimum, 2 weeks from now, we will touch base with a staff meeting. I'm probably going to look for a different time because it seems as if this time would be one that Mallory Lovell was asked to work on the math piece, 7th grade math piece, and Taylor was asked to work. They're both missing from this meeting because of that. So I'll try to find a better time and go from there. But I don't have one scheduled right now.
We're guessing students will have iPads on day one next year. Any potential timeline for 6th grade? Sorry to laugh. Shane and I've talked about this.
So when you say that students will have iPads on day one, I don't know that to be the case. I don't know what our end of the year process of getting their things from their locker and turning back in instruments and iPads and things like that will look at this point. So I don't know that we will have iPads at first. And so I didn't understand the 6th grade schedule part of that though.
Well, I think it's similar to what Shane and I were talking about. We would logically, they keep them over the summer, the 8th grade, turn them back in, and then we only have one grade level to pass out. That was our dream, but again, we can't make any assumptions.
Yeah, true. I don't know that our technology department would be up for that with not being able to see the machine over the summer and some of those kind of things. But it all changes, and it changed so fast over the last couple of weeks. So I'm not sure.
Can we check out a school computer?
Okay, the school computers. How about whoever asked that question, shoot me an email individually because and it has to be within the next 2 hours because I asked staff if you had those needs to jump in with me in a couple to get your grades done and those kind of things. I didn't get a ton of responses. The district is putting together some technology, but they've got very specific parameters on who they'd be checking those out to because they don't have enough for everyone. So they're intending that your iPad is your device right now.
What happens if a student has a problem with their iPad? Is there a process to get it fixed?
Okay, there is, and that's a piece that I'll have to check to see if it was sent out to parents or if it's a piece that I need to push out a little bit more. Next.
I'm waiting.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yep,
No.
Nothing's here. No.
Okay, good.
So, my understanding is parents are to call the help desk, according to Ann.
Yeah, and I thought that was sent to parents, but I didn't want to overstate that. There's an email address and that. I just wanted to make sure that it didn't just come to me. Any parents of current middle school kids that could jump in and tell us that?
Well, I just know as a high school parent, I got the same email that said, any tech issues, email the help desk, and they're going to deal with it via email.
Okay.
According to Andy, it's all in the CLP. Just got it this morning. Nothing iPad specific though.
Okay, but it's got a spot to help. Okay, good. Anything else?
They won't take away our H drive before we can get back to move everything over, will they?
No, we've asked that question. The H drive won't go away while we're gone, but it will go away and needs to be a piece that you keep as soon as you're back at your desk. You keep as a high priority to get those things moved.
Okay.
Good question.
I have things on my desktop. Are they safe?
As far as I know right now, absolutely. Tech is not going in and doing anything in buildings at all. You know, yeah, there's no one going into buildings right now. Our custodians coming in with some specific tasks to do, but and on a different schedule. But you know, there's tech's not going in and updating computers or anything at this point.
And what about passwords for logging in?
Yep, that's a piece that I haven't heard a definitive answer on. We know that it's a piece that both staff and student passwords are going to expire at some point. I don't know for sure what the plan is there, but tech is definitely has that on their radar and such. Oh, Ann's got an answer to that one that they can change off campus. What does it say, Carrie?
Well, okay, staff, it just says staff can change off campus via MyPass.
Okay. Any other questions? Everybody find Mallory Beam and wave at her beautiful baby that's sitting there with her. Yay, hi. That's awesome. I'm gonna page through and see if I can see some other faces that I haven't seen this morning.
Another question, if there's a grade concern from a parent, what would you recommend?
Okay. If it were a kid that was gone the last 2 weeks before spring break or something like that, I think you work through it and you get those past assignments from them. You adjust the grade as need be, and work with Karen and the administrator of that child, whether it's Carrie or Shane, loop them in as well. But we could make that change. As far as if I have a student in my class that has an 88%, their parent reaches out to me and says, oh, you know, I really want a chance like the high school is doing to improve their grade. That's not a part of the plan at the middle school, and their grade is going to stay where it is at this point.
Another tidbit, you can also change passwords through the Ozone, and grade change will work the same for Q3. Contact Karen if you're going to be changing Q3 grade.
Okay. Okay.
You can tell kids that parents can email the help desk at olatheschools.org. Shane found that.
Okay. Okay. All right. If you haven't yet, page through all the pictures, check out everybody. Some of us have done a better job of knowing Zoom and have some pretty nice little backgrounds back there. I will tell you this, that I was in a, excuse me, there was a meeting and it was with Learning Services. It was the 10 principals, couple of people from Learning Services, and there was this black spot that said Mr. Allison, right? And about halfway through the meeting, it pops up and he's got Jaws shark right above his head. It just, I mean, just there are some fun backgrounds to do. And if you're worried about how clean your house is, like that's why I'm sitting at the ping pong table with facing the breaker box cabinet, because my basement is absolutely trashed from the ping pong tournament and the foosball tournament that took place here between the 5 of us on Saturday night. You know, you can put that background in there. But look around, see who's got it if you want guidance on how to do it, because I don't know. Looks like we've got a few of you that are pretty good with this.
What about 6th graders we've never met grades? So
oh, for 4th quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, my initial reaction to that is they won't have a 4th quarter grade. They just won't take the intro to facts class or whatever it may be. So they just won't have that in there. Good question. But you won't have to enter a grade for them. At least that would be my hope and assumption. Any others?
Not right now.
Okay, guys, it's going to be, if it's any indication, we had about a 20-minute meeting of lead teachers, and it took quite a while to download and the recording of it, but it'll probably be this afternoon before I send out this link. Remember to let me know if you are a person that feels like you need to get back into the building to do to get materials for planning and that, so that I have a gauge as to how many of you need to do that. And take care of each other. Take care of kids. Remember to reach out to your students this week, either via email or via Zoom, and touch base with them. If you're Zooming, remember, no one-on-one. And yeah, and keep in touch. We're people, so make sure you're connecting with others.
I would just add, if you need a puppy fix, I think Patty's got one of her little adopt a pet puppy on screen, maybe.
Oh my gosh, I gotta find it now.
You may have to unmute so she can say something so we can see her better.
There she is.
Here she is.
Oh, yeah.
This is Britta. They're 4.5 weeks old. I have 2 puppies fostering. So they're keeping me up 12:30, 3:30, and 5:30 last night. But awfully cute if anybody needs a dog.
Looks like Michelle brought not her dog, but her young man over to get in the picture too. And then he bolted. Leanna's got her son there too. It's good to see everybody with their kids. Guys, it's nice to see your smiles. Most of you are smiling. Jim Cole, I don't know. He's a pretty serious dude. But it's good to see smiles. I would tell you this. The other thing that Zoom is awesome for, just found this out Friday night, met with the other 10 principals and Dr. Dane at 4 o'clock, so after hours. We might have not, I might not have had a diet due at that time, but it was a good way to get some social interaction, little happy hour piece, and that. So use it with some friends and get some friend fix that you haven't had for a while. Okay. All right. No more chats. Oh.
You still have the bucket you're drinking from? Jim asked. You still have the bucket you're drinking from? I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, he carries around that big old water bottle thing. Look at this.
For Jim.
It's Jim Goss. It's the size of a bucket.
Yeah, it's
I
it's
wouldn't
like
mean it
64 ounces.
out loud.
Ridiculous.
Oh, sorry.
Well, when you're an airplane pilot, like Goss looked like he is today, you have to stay hydrated.
Yeah, this absolutely is not just a video gaming headset that I'm using for this. It's
Not
totally
at all. Not
not
at
at all.
None of us guessed that.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Check out the lesson, and then reach out to your kids, and let Shane and Carrie and I know how we can help you. Peace. I'm going to end this bad boy.